You don't have to live life so hard. Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm really trying my best, but why'd I always feel so anxious and exhausted? Everyone else seems so relaxed while I'm struggling like this. We're often taught that we must constantly strive for success and a better life. But sometimes, that very effort can wear us down and make us lose sight of what truly matters in life. Today, let's pause for a moment and talk about why the message, you don't have to live life so hard, is something we all need to hear, and how we can live happier, more fulfilling lives. I'll do my best to create content that truly understands and speaks to your heart. So, shall we start with our first point? First, who sets the standard for trying hard? We all live under the pressure of having to try hard. Whether it's getting good grades in school, achieving higher performance at work, or even in our personal relationships, we're constantly pushing ourselves. We paint a picture of success based on what society implicitly expects, then pour all our energy into fitting ourselves into that picture. We wake up early to exercise, attend classes, or take online courses after work for self-improvement, living so busily that 24 hours a day isn't enough. But who really sets the standard for trying hard? Are we forcing ourselves into a mold of success that the world has created? Have you ever experienced this? Working late into the night, pushing your body to its limits, while telling yourself, I have to do this much to succeed. Or, I need to work harder than others to be recognized. Spending weekends on self-improvement instead of resting, worrying that I can't fall behind others, or this level of effort is just basic. We often live our lives conscious of others' opinions. We see the evaluations of people around us, societal expectations, and glamorous success stories in the media, then feel pressured to become like that too. But the truth is, others aren't as interested in us as we think they are. They're busy living their own lives. While they might talk about our successes or failures briefly, unless it directly affects their lives, they won't focus on us for long. Our trying hard is ultimately a battle with ourselves, and we must set those standards ourselves. Without being swayed by external measures, we need to ask ourselves what we truly need and what makes us happy. Work-life balance trends have emerged from research, starting from the British women's labor movement in the late 1970s. Work-life balance means harmony between work and life, and has now become an important concept for all workers, regardless of gender or marital status. While working hard was once considered the only virtue, now resting well and enjoying life have also emerged as important values. 4-day work weeks, hybrid work, and AI utilization are presented as innovative strategies for work-life balance. Companies are introducing flexible work arrangements to increase employee efficiency and satisfaction, and using AI technology to reduce repetitive and draining tasks. However, South Korea's work-life balance situation still has much room for improvement. Korean working hours are among the longest in OECD countries, and many people still can't relate to work-life balance. We tend to think that unconditional effort and results are the only answers. But is that really true? If you keep running without rest, you'll eventually collapse from exhaustion. Just like a car overheats and stops when driven continuously, our bodies and minds also need rest. Schopenhauer said, life is a sea of suffering. While it might sound cynical, he saw through to the essence of life. He believed that human life is fundamentally filled with suffering, and this suffering stems from desire. We constantly desire something and suffer trying to fulfill those desires. To find even a moment of peace in this life, full of suffering and trouble, we must learn to moderate our efforts ourselves. So what should we do? Find your own pace. Step away from others' opinions and focus on yourself. Ask yourself deeply what you truly want, what makes you happy, and what exhausts you. Second, burnout and the beginning of unhappiness. The paradox of excessive effort. Have you heard of burnout? Psychologically also called burnout syndrome. It refers to a state of feeling extreme mental or physical fatigue and becoming powerless. It's when you've been running so hard that your body and mind are completely exhausted. leaving you unable to do anything more. We often believe that the more effort we put in, the better results will follow. We live by the motto, effort never betrays you, as if it were golden truth. But sometimes, excessive effort can become poison that comes back to hurt us. Have you ever experienced this? Suddenly, losing interest in everything and feeling powerless one day. Finding it hard even to open your eyes in the morning. Not wanting to do anything all day. Feeling tired even after sleeping and getting irritated by small things. These might be early symptoms of burnout. If these symptoms persist, they can lead to more serious mental health issues, like depression or anxiety disorders. A trend of increased value consumption has been mentioned as people pursue work-life balance to improve their quality of life. They're showing a tendency to invest in what they want, or not hesitate to purchase expensive products. This represents a willingness to consume value for my happiness, beyond simply buying things. But people caught in burnout don't have the leisure to enjoy even this kind of value consumption. Everything feels like an obligation, and they even feel guilty about resting. Schopenhauer saw that constantly trying to satisfy human desires was the cause of unhappiness. Desires are endless. When one desire is fulfilled, another one emerges, which is human nature. So how can we escape this vicious cycle? We need to practice letting go. Break free from the obsession that everything must be done perfectly. And sometimes comfort yourself that it's okay to be insufficient. Rest is not laziness, it's recharging time for a better you. Consciously secure rest time and use that time entirely for yourself. Third, the wisdom of living at your own pace. We all have our own pace in life. Some people enjoy sprinting fast and achieving results, while others prefer walking slowly and looking around. But modern society constantly demands faster, even faster, from us. To not fall behind others, to succeed like others. We lose our own pace and try to match the competitive speed that the world has set. Various perspectives on work-life balance exist. While many think work-life balance is important, there are still people who can't relate to it due to anxiety about the future or economic difficulties, and still suffer from the obsession that they must work hard. But do we really have to run at the same pace and in the same direction as others to succeed? Not at all. There are various paths to success in the world, and each person has their own suitable pace. Schopenhauer said, "The root of all suffering is desire." We get caught up in desires arising from external standards and others' opinions, lose our original pace, and bring unnecessary suffering upon ourselves. Just as concepts like work-life harmony or work-life blending have emerged as alternatives to work-life balance, it's important that various areas of life harmoniously blend together, beyond simply separating work and life. Respecting your own pace and living life in your own way doesn't simply mean being lazy. Rather, it's a wise attitude of understanding and respecting yourself. Sometimes going slowly can be a way to go further and longer. Like walking through a forest path. With leisure, looking around while maintaining your own pace will bring greater satisfaction and happiness in the long journey of life. Fourth, the courage to acknowledge imperfection and let go. We all live pursuing perfection. Perhaps because we grew up with education that told us, you mustn't make mistakes, and you must be the best. We apply overly harsh standards to ourselves and suffer with self-blame over small mistakes. But nothing perfect exists in this world. We are all imperfect beings, and mistakes naturally occur in the process of growth. Have you ever experienced this? Losing sleep over even tiny mistakes and regretting them. Always being anxious that your shortcomings might be exposed to others. Falling into self-loathing when seeing your imperfect self. The work-life balance trend connects to value consumption. This reflects an attitude that values one's life and happiness beyond simple consumption. Accepting your imperfect self and understanding what you need to consume becomes an important act of self-care. Schopenhauer saw human life as essentially painful and imperfect. He pointed out that while we constantly strive to escape suffering, even that effort creates new suffering. The thought that everything must be done perfectly ultimately leads us to burnout and traps us in a swamp of self-deprecation and unhappiness. Sometimes we need the courage to do things halfway, the courage to acknowledge insufficiency. When we acknowledge our imperfection, we can finally become generous with ourselves and embrace others' imperfections too. This ultimately helps in forming healthier and richer human relationships. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means learning life's flexibility and stopping resistance to unpredictable situations. Fifth, investing time for the real me. We perform many roles throughout our lives. Someone's child, student, employee, parent, friend. We live wearing various masks. But among all those roles, where is the real me hiding? Have you ever experienced this? Living for others all day, then suddenly being unable to answer the question, who am I? Acting as the person others wanted you to be so much that you didn't know what you actually wanted. Feeling uncomfortable even when alone and afraid to face yourself. There's content about work-life balance in the job market. A job trend is emerging where people consider working conditions more important than salary, and AI utilization skills have become important evaluation factors. Schopenhauer emphasized that human happiness comes from within, while external conditions or others' recognition can provide temporary satisfaction. True happiness comes from introspecting on your inner self and finding meaning in life. Investing time for the real me goes beyond simply enjoying hobbies or taking rest. It's time for introspection, exploring yourself, establishing your values, and finding your life's purpose. Try having time to dialogue with the real me through various methods like meditation, reading, writing in a journal, or taking solo trips. Finally, the message, you don't have to live life so hard, never means to give up on effort. It's wise advice that we should strive more wisely, love ourselves, and find balance in life. Sometimes we need the courage to catch our breath, sometimes to take detours, and sometimes to stop and look back at ourselves. We all have our own pace and way of doing things. Rather than whipping yourself through comparisons with others, exercise the wisdom to respect your pace and live life in your own way. Your life belongs to you alone. Don't just live intensely all the time. Sometimes stop for yourself, rest, and find true happiness. Thank you.